Hello, my beautiful ducklings. This is a movie review for Child 44. I was really excited when I saw the trailers for this movie. I couldn't wait. Finally, it came out, and I had the opportunity to see it. That being said, I have tried a really long time to compose myself enough to do this movie review, and I'm still having a hard time, so I apologize. This is actually not my first time recording. I've had to re-record a few times. This movie was just simply amazing. I'm getting a little weepy again. So it's got Tom Hardy, which, who doesn't love Tom Hardy? And it's got Gary Oldman. I mean, come on, Gary Oldman. It's also got another actress that I've never heard of, and I can't for the life of me remember her name. I don't believe she was in any of the trailers. If she was, she's the blonde. And those are the three main people that are in the movie that I can remember. I know there's another one in there that's a main one. When you see the movie, you'll know who I'm talking about. He's like the bad guy, like agent. But I can't think of anything to say about him, so I won't, except I just did. So anyway, the movie is not what you think it is by the trailers, but it's actually much better. I don't want to say too much about it, because if I say too much, I'll completely ruin the movie for you. I'm sorry, I keep thinking about it and I just can't. So the movie is, it's based in Russia, and Tom Hardy does an amazing Russian accent. Who'd have thunk it? But I mean, they all do really good Russian accents, but Gary Oldman is known for things like that. He's just seasoned. He's such a veteran. So anyway, so it starts out where you just see that Tom Hardy is basically, it's not KGB, I'm not sure what he's supposed to be, but it starts out where he was like raised in an orphanage. It's like, it's a few years, like 5 or 10 years after Hitler's death. It tells you the date, but I cannot remember what it was. So anyhow, he was raised like in an orphanage, and it was back during the Holland, what was it called? Hollandmont? I don't know. I've never heard of it, to be honest with you. So it was when Russia was basically like starving, well, Russian wasn't doing it, Stalin was basically starving his own people. And so he was kind of taken in by this military general who, like I said, took him in, and then he just became like this war hero. He just became a very seasoned and medaled veteran. And then some things happen, and basically one of his friends, who is also in his same company, his son is murdered, but the government tries to cover it up and say that he was hit by a train, even though it's just not possible, like, because of the way that he died and everything. I don't think this is a spoiler. His organs have been surgically removed, and I'm sorry, I have kids, I can't talk about this kind of stuff, but his organs have been surgically removed, and he's drowned, and there's no water anywhere nearby, so it's just not possible that that could have happened. There's also in the beginning of the movie, and this is why I keep getting upset, this is a bit of a spoiler, so I'm sorry, but just to explain why this review is hitting me so hard, in the beginning of the movie, they're searching for a traitor, and so Tom Hardy, the guy, like, runs out the back, so Tom Hardy goes to chase him down. His name is Leo in the movie. So if I say Tom Hardy or Leo, I'm talking about the same person. So he goes and he chases the guy down, and then when he comes back up the hill, the guy that I mentioned before, that's just like the bad guy, not general, but the bad guy, he shoots the mother and father that were sort of hiding the guy. He shoots them in the head in front of their 2 little girls, who are about 2 years apart. So this is why it upsets me so much, because, you know, there's a bunch of children dying, and then those 2 little girls, just, they're very close in age to my children, so it's, and plus I have girls, so it's really hard. So anyway, so some things happen. Tom Hardy has to leave because he's searching for, he's basically trying to solve the case of who is murdering these children. As you can tell from the trailers, 43 children have come up missing. His friends son being 44, even though it's not in that order. That's just, it's a line in the movie where they mention we found 44, and then Tom Hardy says, no, it's 44, or we found 43, and Tom Hardy's like, no, it's 44 because of my friend's son. So there was actually, I think, 12 deaths after. So anyhow, this is basically what happens. Tom Hardy is pretty much in trouble and like on the run because he's trying to solve these murders. And in Russia, they were like, you know, Russians don't murder. We don't have child murderers. Like, that's not possible. He got hit by a train. And so that's what Tom Hardy is trying to disprove. Now, the movie itself is, I mean, it's just amazing. That's the meat of the movie. Like, that's what the movie is about. But there's also like a love story behind it, like in the backdrop, which I thought was actually super, super interesting. You would almost watch that if it was a movie by itself. And then there's a lot of fight scenes. Well, not a lot. There's a few fight scenes. And that's my only complaint. The fight scenes, you know how when you watch a fight scene and it looks as almost as if they took the camera and like flipped it around and like rolled it, so you can't really see what's what? That's kind of how this fight scene was, especially because there's a specific fight scene in the mud, so you can't really tell who's who. And so when you're watching it, you know how you do that thing where you're like this? Like, that's what you find yourself doing. And that kind of, I don't like when any movie does that, so that was like my only negative. Other than that, the lighting, the music, I mean, the music cues you perfectly. This is such a tearjerker. Please, for the love of God, do not let children watch this movie. However, there's a bit of nudity. Now, it's child nudity because it's like a, you know, the child's dead, and when they roll him over, you can see his tushy. Now, I can't imagine that's really the child, obviously. They're not going to show an 8-year-old's backside. So I'm certain that it's like a dummy or something, but still, the things that they do show are so graphic, I don't think any child should see that. My kids watch a lot of just violent movies. I know, bad, but like, I would never let them watch this movie. It's far, far too scary. I let Caitlin watch Changeling, but I would never let them watch this. There's not any language per se, but there's one sex scene where you see Tom Hardy's tush, and then there's a lot of blood. There's like, I mean, there's where people are getting stabbed to death. There's children that are just pummeling under other children. Don't let kids see this. It's way too rough for them to see. It was too rough for me to see. I can see that this is getting a bit long. I didn't mean for it to get so long. I'm sorry. I hope I've actually explained the movie. But the movie was amazing. The performances given are just brilliant. I'm a huge fan of Tom Hardy. I think he's absolutely gorgeous. And I completely forgot that I was watching somebody that's attractive. It was like, you know, I was watching Leo. It was absolutely amazing to me. It was riveting. Gary Oldman is perfect as always. The girl that I can't remember her name, I'm sorry, she was really good. Like, they all gave outstanding performances. This is the movie that you're watching it, and like literally it goes from sad to sadder to sadder to sadder, and then it's like, oh yay! And like, by the last like 20 minutes, we were screaming at the screen. Like, everybody was just like going crazy. You really root for these characters, and some characters you're just like, finally. I mean, I can't say much about the movie because if I do, it spoils it. But what I can say is absolutely go see the movie. I've said this once before. When it comes out on DVD, I will immediately pay the $25, and I don't do that. Was it worth the ticket? Abso-freaking-lutely. In fact, I would absolutely tomorrow go spend another $7.50 and watch it again if I had a friend that would go with me so they could hold my hand, because it was really sad. But yeah, so don't even wait for Redbox. I mean, definitely get it at Redbox. I'm just saying, like, this movie was freaking amazing. And that's all I can really say. It was just really, really good. If you do have kids, brace yourself, because if you're anything like me, I just kept equating, especially since the kids were like 8. I just kept equating them to my children. It was really, really hard for me to stay focused and to not get emotional, which I am again. So I'm going to end this review. I hope you liked it. If there's any movie, series, or book that you would like me to check out or review, leave it in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, or hit that button right there so you can favorite me and see more of my wild craziness in the future. And that's all, folks. That's not how it goes. That's all, folks. Okay, guys. Bye, kids.